Welcome to Pretty Sure That's Not Right. Here, we answer the questions, we explore. We try to explain the complicated, but I'm pretty sure that's not right. Dude, where's 420 from? Like, who was the first person to say 420? Or, what does it even mean? I have bad news and good news. That bad news is there are two competing theories as to the origin. The good news, these two theories are shockingly intertwined. So, grab your apples and let's get started. First, we need to debunk. It is widely believed that Adolf Hitler was born on April 20th, 420. This is not true. Adopted very young, his date of birth has always remained unknown. Adolf was actually a teetotaler, fiercely averse to any intoxicating substance. He liked to stay clear. This includes marijuana. This 420 rumor about him was actually manufactured as propaganda by renowned anti-Third Reich and famous conspiracy theorist Alexei Johannes. Now, our first theory finds the 420's roots in the Indicar region of Peru. Peru had just recently fought valiantly for sovereignty. It needed to have a strong launch to its currency and newly established economy. The cannabis plant flourished across the Indicar region, well known and used by the locals to that area. The new country needed a way to champion the cannabis, but there was a problem. The cannabis was grown on no land owned by the government, so they instituted a federal program to both bribe and empower the locals to infusing the cannabis into the new country's exportation. Peru offered generous payments to those who produced, but also offered something more. They appealed to the locals' vanity. They pictured cannabis and images of the citizens themselves on the currency. Specifically, the $20 bill and the $4 bill. Well, the Peruvians stole 4 and 20 bills, actually. Coincidentally, this is also where the expression, "I was so high I was counting my fours," came from. As the country's economy advanced, it sought to distance itself from what was now perceived as a childish or apathetic, intoxicant-based foundation of exportation, with inevitable inflation minimizing the utility of a measure of currency with such a low purchasing power of 4, along with the all too obvious observation that it's a ridiculously decided denomination. The Peruvian government phased out the 4. A shadow agency also began confiscating the older bills, still showing the growers and the plants, for destruction and replacement. Source of another common expression, "Hey, give me that 4. No, I mean give me that 20. The Peruvian government has such strict laws regarding the possession and display of these older 4s and 20s that Google has agreed to filter any attempts to upload such images. It is believed that a man known only as Salvador spent much of the 1980s amassing an enormous collection of the outlawed 4s and 20s. A growing faction of users of the popular website Reddit maintain Salvador mails out 4s to strangers across the globe, with the express purpose of keeping the history of the currency alive. The bills are usually concealed in snack bags of pretzels, popcorn, or Funyuns, with a handwritten note with only one hastily scribbled word: Munchies. Before I finish here, I must zag to our second theory. Now, in the mid 1970s, there was a graduate student named Winston Redminovich. One evening, bored with his economics studies, Winston inhaled a few times and became immensely curious about his genealogy. Of course, this was before the advent of the internet, so after a few weeks of poring through several libraries and making a few hasty trips to the Northeast to speak to several experts and potential relatives, he traced the Radminovich family name to Peru. Disappointed in himself for not predicting this obvious connection, he shifted his focus to the coastline. This is when he noticed Peru's west coast latitude started at 4 degrees south, only to stop at 20 degrees south. It was this moment when his roommate returned home. The roommate, confused by how stoned Winston had become, rambling about this research project, he told Winston how high he actually was, that the project he was working on had not taken weeks, but roughly 35 minutes, the time it took the roommate to get a bowl of chili from the cafeteria. And third, that his last name was Dixon, not Redminovich. Needless to say, Winston left Cornell. Consumed with the idea of 420, he began selling t-shirts before eventually changing his name to Winston Haynes. Now, depending who you talk to, or even what corner of the world you're in, you will hear believers ardently defend the Peruvian government's vanity play, or alternatively, Winston's 35-minute, 3-week research bender. What do I think? Occam's razor. When you hear hoofbeats, think horses, not zebras. So, do you hear $4 bills or Peruvian Redminoviches? I wish I could give you more this time, guppies. That's all we have. That's all we can do. 420. April 20th. 4:20 p.m. We had some fun. Had a lot of fun this time. I hope you learned something. But remember, I'm pretty sure that's not